All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to uncover a super common and sometimes pretty costly business blind spot, focusing only on your revenue. We're going to pull back the curtain and see what your numbers are really telling you about how you're doing.
It's the one question every business owner wants to hear a yes to. You see more money coming in, and of course, it feels like a huge success. But what if I told you that rising revenue can sometimes hide a really serious problem? Let's take a look. To really get to the heart of this, let's walk through a simple, really practical example. Just imagine we're looking at one company's performance over 2 years, back to back.
Okay, so first up is sales volume. In year one, this company sold 1,000 kilograms of their product. Pretty good. But then in year two, that number actually dropped to 900 kilograms. So right off the bat, they've moved 10% less stuff. Just keep that in your head for a second. But here is where it gets interesting. Now look at the revenue. In year one, they brought in 10 grand. In year two, even though they sold less, their revenue jumped up to 13,500. So they sold less products, but they made more money? Wait, what? How does that even happen? And this, right here, is the big problem. The bank account looks a lot healthier, right? The revenue chart is pointing up. It's kind of like a runner who's clocking a slower race time. But because they're wearing these fancy new shoes, their value seems higher. Their actual performance is down, but everything on the surface looks great. So is the business really growing? Okay, so to solve this little puzzle, we need to get crystal clear on what these two terms actually mean, because they are not the same thing, and honestly, the difference between them is absolutely crucial for your business. First, let's talk about sales revenue. This is the big, flashy number. It's the total amount of cash that lands in your bank account from all your sales. In our example, that's the 13,500 figure from year two. It's what you made. Simple as that. And then there's sales volume. This is the how much metric. It's not about the money at all. It's the actual number of units or the physical quantity of product you've sold. In our little story, that's the 900 kilograms. This number tells the story of customer demand and how much of the market you're actually reaching. So here's the bottom line. Revenue tells you about your income, but volume tells you about your activity. It tells you about your reach into the market. You absolutely have to listen to both of these stories to get the full picture of what's really going on. Okay, so which number should you really be paying attention to? Well, let's dig into why sales volume is, you could argue, the more honest indicator of your business's real health and its potential for long-term success. I mean, this quote really just says it all, doesn't it? You can always jack up your prices to boost revenue, but if you're selling to fewer people or selling less stuff overall, you might be heading down a dangerous path. That's not real growth, folks. That could just be a sign that your customer base is actually shrinking. So if your volume is dropping, what's the deal? Well, it could be a sign of some real issues bubbling just under the surface. Maybe there's just less demand for what you're selling, or maybe new competitors are swooping in and eating your lunch. It could even be that your price hikes, while they look good on the revenue sheet for a little while, are actually pushing your loyal customers away. But on the flip side, if your sales volume is going up, that is a fantastic sign. It means more people are buying what you're selling. It shows that demand is growing and your strategies are working. That is the foundation of real sustainable growth. So, what do you do with all this? How do you make sure you're not getting fooled by your own numbers? Let's get into the practical, actionable stuff you can do to get a clear view of your business's performance. It really boils down to 3 simple but super powerful steps. First, you have to track both. Don't just look at the money, look at how many units you sold. Second, whenever you see a change in your volume, whether it's up or down, you have to dig in and ask why. Is it a new competitor, your pricing, a new marketing push? And finally, you use that information to make smart decisions that drive genuine growth, not just a temporary spike in revenue. And that really brings us to our final thought here, which is more of a question for you. The next time you look at your sales report, don't just stop at the big revenue number. Go a little deeper. Ask yourself, what is my sales volume telling me? What's the hidden story in my numbers?